I'm Kimberly Butler. Welcome to my vlog, New Media News. Join us while we speak to Mary Alice Williams and get her take on the state of the new media and its effect on our society.
With the web, it's not just shovelware. It's not just reading the New York Times or watching the CBS Evening News or listening to the radio on the web. That's there as well and has some value, but the web itself is, I think, still in the process of developing its own language and iconography. My biggest pet peeve about the web is that it is full of a lot of mind-numbingly stupid stuff, and it takes a while to, and I'm there now, to have found what you really think is important to read.
In this internet world, there is no gatekeeper function for most websites. What you see is what you get. Somebody could be at home, as you know, it's famously said, in their pajamas, blogging away. Typically they do very little reporting. They have lots of opinion, and they have lots of maybe even insight into different stories, but it's not the case that they have original reporting where the content is based on having seen or having taken the time, the shoe leather to go and do interviews with people to try to understand, to build a backlog of experience and knowledge that will allow you then to understand what is the really key development in a story that's taking you to the next level, to the next development in that story.
New media journalists have the advantage that they don't seem to care about the truth, so it's much easier to report. I think that American newspapers are the ultimate flowering of American culture. And I think if America lets those newspapers go, I think they'll regret it. And I think it's interesting to see that the newspapers which are actually doing okay are things like the Wall Street Journal, The Economist, financial papers, because the people who read those, they want and they need, so it doesn't hurt their pocketbooks, they need objective, well-researched journalism.
There is the most rigorous sort of New York Times, double source confirmation on the record, fact checking. Then there is, the classic stereotype of the blogger in a bathrobe in their parents' basement, saying, this is crazy, I disagree with this, or I hate this, and just spouting off without bothering to check facts, without, taking generalizations from what they remember hearing from the television the night before, which itself may have been generalizations.
It's very difficult to control the exact message. So what you're hoping to do is repeat it enough, the same message over and over again with the same style, so that it becomes a truth.
I applaud the democratization of sources of information. The fact that you now have this vast array, you can Google. My problem is there are too many repeaters and not enough reporters. There are the people who do the hard work of information gathering. That is not sufficiently rewarded, in my view. The originality, the Brian Ross kind of reporter.
If you can have more editors, more producers, more reporters competing for that space, I think ideally you would get a better product in terms of a truer understanding of the news, more on the ground, real reporting about what's going on, more talking to the people who are in power in any situation, whether it's on a battlefield or in the halls of Congress, getting their voices out and then holding them accountable for their actions, because you're not only there for the moment, you're not just parachuting in, you're going to be there for the long run, that the news division has made a commitment to cover the story in depth. On the internet, you don't see that. For the most part, what you see is someone with a camera might show up, someone with a notebook might show up, someone might offer an opinion, lots of opinions, in fact. But as a consumer, you're not sure how much credibility to attach. It's going to take a while before you know if this website or that website really deserves your attention as a credible source of news. If you think back to what happened with Dan Rather and the whole story about President Bush's service in the National Guard, the fact that Dan Rather's folks had bogus documents, that came as a result of people on the internet saying, you know what, this typeface didn't exist back when, and then forcing mainstream media to do some more digging.
Competition is good, diversity is good, in terms of the spreading of options for information are good, and I think they're only going to get better. My beef also with the internet is too many writers, not enough readers. In that sense, you know, everyone's blogging, everyone's, you know, opining this and that. So, yeah, right. I mean, but I don't know if I care about so you don't read it, I mean, basically.
The internet is democratic because my children, my parents, because everybody can weigh in. Everybody has a voice.
I've long believed that you need all forms of media when it comes to news to be well informed. I don't think you can be well informed today and not watch television. I don't think you can be well informed by only watching television. But I think you have to read newspapers and magazines. I think you have to listen to quality radio, watch television, go on the internet. And yes, I think you need to read a book as often as you can. This old idea is taking root again. But listen, I don't need a lot of media outlets. I don't need to clutter my brain with it. I'll just pick a site or maybe 2 or 3 sites on the internet. I can quickly punch it up, I can get it, and I got all I need. Well, here's a gentle voice, I hope not in the wilderness, say, sorry, but not enough.
Thanks for watching. Next time, politicalization of the media. Politics, it's in everything.